What's dangerous is when the universe pick you and you put on the magic glasses. There's rules that go with them. You can never take them off. You never see things as they're supposed to be. You see things as they are. And you can never force nobody else to wear them.
I think while I lie awake and contemplate tonight are wearing me out. Well, maybe tomorrow the world will wake and get it right, but I have my doubts, yeah. During the day, well, I design machines of war that scream through the sky. 'Cause I, for one, I like to go to bed free at night under these stars and stripes. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. Yes, I have my doubts, but they'll wind you up and pull the cord until you're spun right out. And I don't understand. Roll the dice and raise the price to feed the machine's mouth. Call it the progress of man. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts. And I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. I have my doubts, so I'll drink my stuff and raise some hell and shoot my guns to the end of my time. You can have the booze and go to hell and take the guns, but I know they won't be mine. Messed up and out of touch, let's text someone who's in the other room. So don't wonder why we don't say hi or know anyone. I might as well move to the moon. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. Well, the things I think, well, I lie awake and contemplate at night. Wearing me out.
Good evening. I hope everyone is doing well. I was just digging into something right before the show here. I watched a video, Dabu 7. Let me find it. Okay, he's got a video that he put out, I showed like 4 hours ago. Beast System UN's vision of the future has an apex body and biometric digital ID to rule us all. And so he was talking about some pretty concerning things in the video, which, I mean, largely I've been aware of. They're just getting, they're tying up all the loose ends. And what I'm referring to, here in the U.S., it's called the Real ID Act. But the thing of it is this isn't, this even gets misreported as a national ID. Now, the odd thing is they've tried to implement national IDs multiple times, going back, I want to say 40s or 50s or something like that. I think they were initially trying to impose a national ID and get rid of the state IDs. That was a no-go. People, they weren't having it. And they called it many different things. Of course, one of the times was National ID Act. And that's what it got commonly referred to as, was National ID Act. Well, they couldn't get it passed through. And they kept trying. And what they would do is every once in a while, they'd just name it something different and try it again. And people caught on and prevented it several times, to my knowledge, from becoming law. Well, then they came back out with it under the name Real ID Act. And I guess people didn't stand up enough. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but they implemented it. And it's been kind of a crazy process, because they wanted it done all the way back, I think in 2009 is when they initially wanted it done. And that wasn't happening for multiple reasons. One of them is not all states were on board with it. And there were a lot of holdouts that held out for quite a while. Oklahoma's one of them that held out for quite a while, but then they eventually gave in. And at this point, I do believe it's all 50 states are part of the Real ID Act program. And so the reason I'm bringing this up is because I wanted to clarify something that Dabu said in his video, and it was a little bit inaccurate. He had talked about Alaska and said that Alaska was repealing the Real ID Act, and that's not true. It's absolutely not true, and it's not anything recent, to be honest. So that's kind of an important note to add. The article I've got here is from 2022, March 3rd of 2022, and I just want to clarify this because I think it's important. If people think that there's a fight against this, they might not be so willing anyway to fight themselves. So I just want to make it well aware that there is no fight going on against I have no idea how to stop it from beeping, man. Now I lost the thing. Crap. It is crazy. Crazy. I can't get off the screen. There we go. I'm off the screen. Now I gotta get my phone back unlocked. No, I don't want this. I want off of that. Okay. Now I'm back to my screen. I'd frickin' do my show at 8. What the hell? Anyway, let me see where I was. I was talking about Alaska, and I wanted to clarify what's going on with Alaska. Hang on, let me just reply to this. Anyway, I was talking about Alaska and clarifying what it is that's going on there. So Dabu had made the statement that Alaska was essentially fighting it. Now, this again isn't a new thing. The article I've got here is 2022, and let me bring it up here. And right here, Alaska bill proposes repeal of Real ID to offer non-biometric driver's licenses. Now, you have to read that real carefully because it says it all in the title, but it could be easily missed, to be honest. Just going by the title of the article. Yeah, I could see how a lot of individuals would possibly think that there's no, Real ID, or a lot of individuals that doesn't realize that this means that they're still going to be there. So let me clarify this. I'm sorry I'm so scatterbrained. Proposed legislation in Alaska would repeal the state's implementation of the Real ID Act, the 10th Amendment center right, setting up a possible showdown with the federal government and potentially blocking the use of Alaskan driver's licenses with face biometrics. Now, that is not exactly what this does. Let's read the next paragraph because it tells the story. State House Bill 389 was introduced by Representative David Eastman, Republican, on February 22nd and proposes establishing an option for state residents to receive a driver's license that does not comply with the Real ID standards, which include facial photo standards to support facial recognition. So I'm not exactly sure what happened, but to my knowledge, most, if not all, the states have an option that you can not be a part of it and still have a state ID. It just wouldn't carry the same, I'm going to say the word privileges as the Real ID compliant one. You wouldn't be able to take even domestic flights on an airplane. You wouldn't be able to take. You wouldn't be able to enter federal buildings like federal courthouses. You wouldn't be able to get on places like military bases. You wouldn't be able to, go to anything that's pretty much government. You wouldn't be able to get in without a Real ID compliant ID. So how much of a big deal is it? Well, it's actually a really big damn deal. They are downplaying it with this. What they are doing is kind of making it seem like it's not a big deal. But this is the link. Remember, people were talking about the fusion centers, and we were talking about how they're putting all of our medical records on in digital format and online, all this stuff. And this is what ties it all together. That fusion center, your file, if you will, at that fusion center, this ID sews everything up. This ID is the final piece that has to be put in place to link all of that stuff together under your name. So, I should say your biometric ID. So, I just want people to understand that this was not, Alaska's still going to have the Real ID. They're just going to offer a non-Real ID option. we are in Illinois, and to my knowledge, Illinois offers a non-real ID option. Still not going to take a part in it. No, because I'm not stupid. Not stupid. Just like them in the state of Illinois checking your FOID card every time you buy ammunition. I'm not stupid. I really think that a lot of dark things are going to happen really quick the moment this gets implemented. And so now they're saying May 7th or May 9th, 2025, something like that. I think I got another article up here that has that information. And this one here kind of breaks down a lot of the different stuff that was being talked about. So, and this is what I mean. I look into things, and it's important to look into things, because that didn't sound right to me, because the last I knew, all the states were on board, and I mean, I was excited. I was like, oh, this would be awesome if Alaska said, we're not going to do it. But here's the deal here. Their little clause that they had added, so they can still issue them, and I would imagine plan on issuing them, but they also have a non-real ID version as well. So, and this article here goes pretty deep into it, but just understand it's coming. It's not a good thing. To my knowledge, the only thing that you can do is not take part in it. So, I don't want anything. I'm done. When they tried to implement that and them offering a quote-unquote option that's not real ID, no. Nope, my daddy did not raise a fool. Because by opting out of the real ID compliant ID, I'm sure I opted in to another great list. So be it. And I must say, it sucks not having an ID. It does. It sucks. But, I hear a lot of people talk the talk. And that's why I am the way I am. Because I don't talk the talk. I walk the walk. I do it. That is, that's why I'm kind of a horse's ass sometimes. Because, people that actually do this stuff aren't impressed by the people that talk about doing it. So, I got another one up there. News, by the way, and I think I might have said this earlier. I don't know. It's pretty, the hell? It's kind of slim today. Slim pickings. So, that's kind of why I wasn't concerned about jumping right into what I've got open. I've got 4 articles open. That's it. 4 articles. And then the headlines themselves weren't like an insane a lot of them, and the severity of them, for the most part, weren't that bad. I have a feeling we're in for a hell of a week, but that just hadn't happened today, at least yet. I think we're in for a hell of a week, though. Let's see. Oh, I guess I'll bring you guys along for the ride. Go ahead and jump through these. Like I said, it'll probably be an easy night, quick night. There's just not a lot shaking. At least not news-wise. CIA knew Russia wasn't behind Nord Stream attack, says Wall Street Journal. So CIA has known since at least October that Russia did not blow up the Nord Stream gas pipelines, the Wall Street Journal reported on Wednesday. While the report claimed that the CIA had attempted to foil a Ukrainian-led plot to bomb the pipelines, a competing report alleges the agency actually carried out the demolition job. I'm sure that they were, they were trying to foil the plot. I'm sure they probably gave them the capability of doing it, gave them the munitions to do it, and the submarine to do it. Hell, they probably even threw in the crew. Oh, man. It says Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2 gas pipelines were destroyed in a series of attacks, blah, blah, all that stuff. It says while U.S. President Joe Biden refrained from blaming Russia for the blast, U.S. Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm told the BBC it seems like Moscow was to blame, while Ukraine has publicly and repeatedly accused Russia of sabotaging its own gas lines. And this just does not make any sense. No, he doesn't gain from that. He doesn't. I mean, he doesn't gain from that in any way, shape, or form. And he ain't that foolish to think he would have. He invaded Ukraine. So there's a good chance that a good part of the world would say, good, that they blew up the pipelines. It should have kind of been a but I guess that's different. And I can't sit here and tell you that I know full well the rules of engagement. There we go. I can't sit here and tell you that I know all that because I don't. That might not be a good move for, for Ukraine to bomb the pipelines and then come out and, yay, we bombed the pipeline. Because there may be other implications happen because of that, since it's infrastructure. It's causing harm to civilians and businesses alike. And that's, to my knowledge, would actually be considered an act of terrorism, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, I guess truth is they can't, they couldn't really come out and just admit it because it would probably be deemed terrorism. So, CIA Director William Burns told a European counterpart in October that available evidence didn't point to Russia. So, well, no. So anyway, you're going to see a lot of this crap. I don't know. I don't take stock in a whole lot of it because it's war, and the first casualty of war is the truth. So, in the end, you got to see who's got more craters in their country and, tally the winner, I guess. That's about all you can do. I mean, you can't rely on any country when there's war involved. So, not even countries that aren't directly involved. Well, look at the U.S., for example. We're not directly involved, in quotation marks. Bold quotation marks. Like, we're not talking semi-bold. No, we're talking the extra black option in Photoshop, right? All right, let's see. Biden mulling Israel model for Ukraine, says New York Times. Well, that's mighty wide of you, Mr. Biden. Have you by chance asked Russia if they were interested in an Israel model for Ukraine? Because I'm pretty sure Putin's going to tell you to go get bent and eat another ice cream. Maybe have your diaper changed. Because He ain't having it, yo. Israel model for Ukraine. I thought that this was just absolutely insane. And to be honest, I don't think that even Zelensky would agree with that. I know Putin wouldn't, but I don't even think Zelensky would agree with that. You are right. The winners write the history, and there's proof of that. Hey, how much do they teach in American history about what the Civil War was really about? Because we all hear slavery. That's the foremost thing you hear. But was that actually the biggest reason for the Civil War? The answer is no. The answer is no. The biggest reason had to do with them trying to basically force them into their monetary system. And it had to do largely with state rights, state independence rights. And slavery was just one of those that was on the list. It wasn't even the most prominent. It wasn't the most important. But who won that? The North won that. And, well, if I'd have had a normal history teacher, I would probably be telling you that it was mainly about slavery. But I didn't have a normal history teacher, thankfully. And, he kind of let us in on what really happened during that time. And it's crazy because the level of that right now they are enforcing some of the rhetoric about Civil War and about the South and even about the Confederate flag, which isn't even the right flag to be concerned about it. They wanted to be concerned about it. It's not the right flag. It's insane. It's insane. But yeah, more to the article, Biden mulling Israel model for Ukraine. Well, you just keep mulling and eating your ice cream, old man. Because I'm telling you, neither one of them are having it. Russia moves to ban sex changes. I mean, anybody know about any immigration? I'm just saying, if immigration was an option. I have to support Russia in this. Putin has been going to great lengths to make sure that the West's mindset, whatever you call this craziness that's going on, doesn't infect their country. But I don't know. Again, I don't trust a whole lot of the news and information that we get. I don't trust a whole lot the information that's available to us. I don't trust any of them. I'm still pretty certain they're working together. But stuff like this, it does indeed catch my eye. Maybe they're not working. I don't know. Like I keep telling everybody, in the end, the only thing that matters is how you can respond to whatever particular event. So just keep getting ready. And it's mind-blowing. I was talking to a gentleman today just about how mind-blowing the changes in the last 5 years. It's just incredible. Yeah, and we'll see what happens in the U.S. My concern is that there's going to be a big bait and switch. Okay, because this has happened in history before. My concern is, you know how that all these agencies and the White House and all these people now for years have been telling us that the biggest threat to our democracy is white supremacy. And there's a whole bunch of us white folk like, what? Because the large majority of us hadn't even thought about it. And I think that's why so many people react the way they do when they hear it, because it's just like it's just such a bizarre stretch. And I've not been able to put my finger on it because of it being such a bizarre stretch, because there's so many people that's out and openly not racist. Just doesn't make a lot of sense. But what does is if they're going to do the old bait and switch. Not that it's white supremacy that they're going to stamp down on, but instead transphobia, or whatever words, names they want to attach to it. That's my concern, because it would not be the first time in history that that's been pulled on a population. This guy Hitler, you might have heard of him. That's just one time. It's been more than once. More than twice. Several times. What they do, though. And they've done it a number of times, even in our nation, just about with different things. So, they do it all the time. Pronouns. Tim Pool put out a video earlier, and I didn't watch the video, but I gathered from the title of it. Let me find said video so I can reread said title. Do. Aha, here it is. School kids revolt against pride, chant USA are my pronouns in epic rebuke of wokeness. I didn't watch the video, but that's awesome. That is absolutely awesome. And that's what it's going to take. It's going to take us to, like I've said, just say no. We're just going to have to say no. And it's not no debate, just no. I really do think that if they keep pushing this stuff, I think the quickest way to civil war in this nation is them continuing to press this stuff, especially when it involves the children. I think if they keep pushing to involve the children in all this nonsense, that's going to be your trigger. That's going to be your trigger. And the question is, as it's already been mentioned about the Winners' Right history, will that history be wrote that it was white supremacy and not transphobia, or leave my kids the lonophobia? I mean, you have to be careful, because these people are evil. I mean, you have to be totally and utterly evil to support this stuff. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. I don't get how anybody, and when I say anybody, I'm not talking necessarily about the youth, but I'm talking about even the adults. How can you not be aware of the biblical teachings of Sodom and Gomorrah and not see a correlation? I don't get it, because that's all I see. Every every time I hear another thing about the trans stuff and all that, that's all I can think of is Sodom and Gomorrah, because we are gleefully, and I'm not talking, I mean, I'm speaking to the choir here, but, you know, some of these folks, a lot of these folks are very gleefully in support of this evil. It's crazy. It is crazy. We just got to say no, and we have to mean it. We have to mean it. We have to be not afraid to assert our no. Let your no mean no. Apparently that's a problem for some people. It's never been a problem for me, because I get very aggravated very quickly. I'm one of those people that if you tell me something, if you give me an answer on something, if you say yes, it's yes. If you say no, it's no. I am not going to keep pushing you on it. I was raised better than that. And so, yeah, I get real pissed off when people try to push me to do something real quick. Not only that, but one of the times that I got in trouble in my younger years, I'll say the first time I got in trouble, the convincing thing that got me to go along with being involved in it, and I'll tell you what it is, it's minor. One of the days, I can't even remember which day, if it was Memorial Day, Labor Day, I don't remember which day, but we were out of school, and me and a friend of mine decided we were going to try the bright idea of getting inside the junior high, because I think we were in 8th grade is what it was, and we were going to be going to freshman in high school. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. And so we just wanted to go do stupid kid stuff in the school. And so anyway, when we got there, you know, everybody wants to be an operator till time to do operator shit. Well, when we got there, I was a little less confident about our plan. And then I had a way out. Well, almost. But yeah, he foiled that. And he literally used peer pressure as a way to get me to convince me to do it. I can tell you the thing that put me over the edge, because I was an Ozzy Osbourne fan. He said, "What do you think Ozzy would say?" And I actually remember the conversation, and that did it. I was like, "Oh, we got to do this." So we did, and we just did the stupid kid shit, right? We kind of trashed the place a little bit. There were locks hung on lockers that weren't locked. We might have put them on a different locker and locked them. You know, just stupid stuff. We didn't do anything too horrible. We didn't, like, you know, try to light the place on fire or nothing like that. We didn't do nothing too horrible. We weren't that bad of kids. But anyway, our dumb asses got caught. And ever since then, I only told you about that story so you would understand why I am so dead set against any type of a peer pressure or pressure at all. And so I do very quickly. If somebody asks me something and I say no, for example, they keep asking, trying to get me to change my mind. At the third time, I am pissed. I am pissed. Yeah, that's not a good thing to do with me. And I won't do it with you. If you tell me yes, your yes means yes. You tell me no, your no means no. That's just the way it is. I'm not going to question you on it because it's disrespect for me to do so. That's how I was raised. It would be disrespectful for me to question your decision. So I'm not going to do it. And I'm not going to let others do it to me. There are a lot of people that think I'm an asshole because of that. But maybe they should get their ass in trouble for trashing a junior high or something. I don't know. But, God, I got 40 hours community service out of that. And you'd have thought it killed me. No, actually, the community service was nothing. What was the worst for me was just the entire process because I felt so guilty. I did. I felt so immensely guilty. And that was the worst part of it for me. The 40 hours of community service, that's nothing. But and yes, that even included the toothbrush along the baseboard of the frickin' police department. Did plenty of that. Did plenty of pulling weeds. Wasn't that bad, actually. I kind of enjoyed it. The work part of it. I've not ever been afraid of work. I like to work. There's a couple of things they had me doing where I was like learning new things, and I thought that was great. So, was the 40 hours community service really a punishment? Not so much. Not for me. No, the process, the guilt, and all that was the tough part for me. And I guess that's different from most people. I don't know. I'm not a normal person, so. Anyway, moving on. And while I'm not a normal person, I am a male, and I will remain a male. Because although I'm not normal, I'm not that fucked up either, so there's a middle ground. Let's see. China backs Palestine's just cause. I thought this was interesting, and I hadn't even read this yet. I was waiting to read it because I do that with a lot of stuff. Unless it's something that could be like immediately important, then I make sure to read it. But stuff like this, no, I'll read it with you guys. So it's not that I'm lazy, I don't want to read it. It's because I don't do shit scripted. I don't want any response that is a canned response or anything else. I want to be there with you. Because why? Because I'm just one of you. I'm not. That's what I don't get about these YouTube channels and the egos and the pride. I don't get it. The vanity. I don't get it. You're just another human being. Why are we supposed to... Oh, I don't get it. I don't get it. Again, I know I'm not normal, but I'm not that fucked up. Don't forget that part of it. Let's see. It says here... Chinese President Xi Jinping has said that he is willing to promote peace talks between Israel and Palestine with the aid of establishing an independent Palestinian state. In recent months, Beijing has emerged as a powerful mediator in the Middle East and a potential peacemaker in Ukraine. Xi met with Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas at the Great Hall of the People in Beijing on Wednesday. We are good friends and partners, the Chinese leader told Abbas, adding that his government has always firmly supported the just cause of the Palestinian people to restore their legitimate national rights. Interesting. According to Chinese state media, Xi told Abbas that he was willing to play an active role in helping Palestine achieve internal reconciliation and promote peace talks. I hope you're catching that. The fundamental solution to the Palestinian issue lies in the establishment of an independent Palestinian state based on the 1967 borders with East Jerusalem as its capital, Xi stated, reiterating Chinese long-standing support for a 1967 UN Security Council resolution demanding that Israel withdraw from territories occupied during the Arab-Israeli War. Israel rejects this resolution, and its troops continue to occupy the West Bank and East Jerusalem, building illegal settlements in the former and considering the latter in a part of its capital city. Although Israeli troops withdrew from Gaza in 2005, it maintains a near-total blockade on the densely populated Strip. Peace talks aimed at reaching a two-state solution in which the Palestinians would have full sovereignty over Gaza and the West Bank, including East Jerusalem, broke down in 2014. U.S. President Joe Biden publicly supports this solution, but recognizes East Jerusalem as Israel's capital, and despite criticizing Israel's West Bank settlements, has blocked efforts by the UN Security Council to formally condemn the policy. If there's nothing that tells you that these people are all in on it, I don't know what else does. I don't know what else does. If this doesn't indicate to you a group of people that we need to really keep a close eye on, I don't know what to tell you. And I will say that I support China's stance on Palestine completely. I think what's going on there is no different than what happened with Hitler. It's really not. What's different? Except they aren't doing it so openly and in a mass way like that. What's different? They're still taking lives. I don't get it. Palestinians weren't the ones that were behind the Holocaust. What in any way gives them the right to treat the Palestinians in much the same way they were treated by the Germans? Doesn't make sense. It will never make sense. And I support China. Absolutely on this. I don't, like I tell people, you can't peg me with a generalization, because I have independent thoughts on a lot of things, and I'm not somebody that gets swayed easy, and I also remember the fact that right is wrong and wrong is wrong. And I don't give a damn what man has written down on a piece of paper aside from the words that God had instructed people to write down that we have in our Bible. Aside from that, modern day man, I care less what they write on a piece of paper. If it violates God's rules, there's no more discussion. And I'm pretty sure that what's happening with the Palestinians would be against the Father's wishes. Just a hunch. In my opinion, that is the only thing that matters. Not a damn thing that mankind today writes down on a piece of paper. It's crazy. Crazy. Oh, yikes. I assume part of the town is out of electricity. Come to think of it. Yeah, right before the show, I went to the restroom. While I was in there, I remember the lights got real dim. I thought, man, Because I thought it was because of the air conditioner kicking on. And apparently not. Apparently there was a power issue somewhere. Need that. Power Rangers. Where the hell? Oh, this is it. I don't have, that's right. I don't have hardly anything tonight. So, yeah, that's what's up with China. I think it's very interesting what they have to say, especially here, willing to play an active role in helping Palestine achieve internal reconciliation and promote peace talks. I thought, keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on that. Because you know who else supports Palestine? Iran. Just kind of an interesting sprinkle of nuts, don't you think? Yeah. Go down. Texas governor buses first group of migrants to Los Angeles. Am I supposed to like jump up and down in joy or something? It's not really doing anything. It's they're still getting in the country. I don't know. I don't have any answers. I don't, because every answer that I come up with, all the roads lead to the same damn thing, and that's us standing up. However you want to take that, however that looks to you, us standing up. And I think we have been in some ways. I mean, look at what's happening to Bud Light and Target and other companies. You know, but as a result of that, we're seeing just as many companies clamp down on the ideology as what we are. In fact, we're seeing more companies continue to clamp down on the ideology than the companies that we see standing up against it. So, I'm not going to hold my breath on that one. Let's see. Hell, I figured I'd have been out of here super quick tonight, but if I got stuff to say, I say it. Imagine that. All right, run through some headlines here, and I don't know. Tonight might be a good night to run around the house screaming, flailing the arms, and I need a neon. What I need is a neon "The End Is Nigh" sign. I imagine that would be pretty damned expensive, though. That would be cool. That would be massively cool. I really do. Now I want an "End Is Nigh" neon sign. That would be so cool. Now I'm going to have to learn how to make neon lights. Damn it. Let's see. I don't think it's that hard, actually. I'm pretty sure it is something that you can do at home. With a torch and the glass tube and the right gas and the right ballast and all that good stuff. I think you can actually buy kits, to be honest. I thought about it at one time because, yeah, why not? It's pretty cool. Let's see. I think it's the same as like when you bend like copper pipe and stuff. I think. I'm not positive. But I think it's the same thing. You put sand in there so that it doesn't crimp. But I could be wrong. I've never done it. Let's see. Germany issues update on tank repair hub for Ukraine. U.S. silence on Nord Stream surprising, says Beijing. Safety at Europe's largest nuclear plant ensured after dam breach. There actually was, and I don't know if there's anything going on with it anymore, but there actually was a company here in town called Jetlight for many, many years, and that's what they did here. It's they made neon signs at Jetlight, so building about 3 blocks away from where we're sitting. So, but I know they're not in that building anymore. I don't know if they still have any operations anywhere. But yeah, I know a few people that work there. Let's see. Russian deputy PM ridicules von der Leyen chip claim. Istanbul airport sets new European flight record. Counteroffensive will help Kiev in negotiations, says NATO chief. U.S. using Ukraine as iron baton, says Moscow. Let's see. New impeachment motion brought against Biden. Ex-Russian president outlines potential buffer zone in Ukraine. And some people might ask, well, new impeachment motion about Biden. You didn't have that up in the tabs. You had news today. No, that's distraction, not news. That's why we don't talk about Trump's ordeal, because that's distraction, not news. Russian MP wounded in Ukraine conflict, says media. U.S. Treasury admits sanctions threaten dollar hegemony. Top Russian lawmaker denies reports of MP's death in Ukraine conflict. Eurozone banks must leave Russia, says ECB. Moscow assesses damage from Kakhovka dam destruction. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. Moscow estimates Ukraine's counteroffensive losses. Prosecutor predicts timeline for Nord Stream sabotage investigation. Moscow offered to lease Crimea from Kiev, says Lukashenko. They claim that that's not true. EU ready to punish Kosovo. And then this is the other headline. Kremlin dismisses Lukashenko's Crimea comments. They say it's not true. So why would Lukashenko just say something like that? I don't know. I haven't figured that out. Russian payment system reveals card numbers. That's probably not a good idea. IAEA head delays nuclear plant trip over security, says media. So I think it's just going to be delayed by a day. At first, I think they were thinking just hours, but I think that they might go tomorrow. We'll see how that turns out. EU continues anti-Russia sanctions talks. Trump election victory can bring peace, says Hungary. Russian region bets big on Spieth. You bet big on Spieth. Let's see, whatever the hell Spieth is. U.S. knew Ukraine planned to destroy Kakhovka Dam, says Moscow. Probably. U.S. Senator pressures Hungary over NATO expansion. Western sanctions backfired, U.S. analyst tells RT. Iran calls for economic synergy with Russia. More stuff to pay attention to. Sanctions are self-harm, a Norwegian professor says to RT. The other thing with this economic synergy with Russia, I'm not saying that for any reason other than, here's the thing. There have been countries, including the United States of America, that have pissed on Iran for longer than I've been alive. It's not a good idea to keep doing that, because it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time, you know? I'm very careful when it comes to that stuff, so I have no idea what the hell that is. Anywho, continuing on. Let's see. Germany names biggest threat to peace and security. The United States? Because I would say United States. Let's see. Lukashenko outlines how Belarus could enter Ukraine conflict. China. I said that one. CIA knew Russia wasn't. Oh, I said that one too. There were like 3 headlines that I covered. There were in a row. U.S. involvement prevents Ukraine peace, says Hungary. That would be true. Ferocious flood engulfs former Olympic host city. They're talking about Sochi. Kosovo crossed the Rubicon, says Serbia. Australia to stop Russia from building new embassies, says Prime Minister. EU rules out NATO troops openly fighting in Ukraine. So they'll just be closet fighting in Ukraine. Let's see. Poland scraps satanic bus after protests. So probably a good idea, Poland. It's insanity. It is truly, truly insanity. But it wasn't as bad as yesterday was. Man, yesterday was rough with news. I have a feeling, I really do have a feeling that we're going to have an interesting week. So we got a couple of days left. I think it's going to get interesting, and I don't know why. I can't tell you that there's any particular reason. It's just that gut feeling, and I've been wrong about that before. I've also been right. I just have a feeling we're in for a heck of a week. So, anyway, I am going to run out of here and just relax. The rest of the night I'll probably be in bed by 9:45. Our asses will be laying in the bed, and like I said last night, I'll be getting back up to let Blue out again, but it happened last night as well, so it's most nights. It's fun though. I enjoy every second of it. The smile on her face and her tail wagging as I'm getting up and getting dressed is just worth way more than the time of me letting her out. So anyway, I am going to get out of here. I hope you all have a good evening. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow. We'll do it again. And as always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.